Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Everyday Heroes podcast. This is number 44, and today we have Bianca Sher, and she is the participant manager for Flying Fox. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about this most amazing program because it's something that I wish I had have known about before. I wish I had have known about this earlier because it's something that would have helped my son so significantly and will continue to help him as he gets older. So it's a non-profit, it's youth run, right? The CEOs are in their mid-30s. They are looking for people who are passionate and want to help the autistic community as well as the disabled community. They are supporting 200 participants, and they're changing lives. They're changing lives through the fact that they are supporting children and adults who can be seen, who can be validated, who can be celebrated. Like, this is where our kids need to be to feel really, to know that they're part of the community. So Bianca, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Very excited to be here.
Excellent. Okay, let's start with these questions. So let's talk about, first of all, before we start getting to the questions, I'm just really interested to understand what prompted the CEOs to even create a program like Flying Fox. So take it away. Let me know.
It's a really cool story. So Flying Fox was first started 10 years ago. And the way it started was actually very spontaneous. The current co-CEO, his name's Dean. He was the one who started it 10 years ago with a group of friends. He got a call from a mum in the community who said, "Hey, Dean, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I've got a son who's autistic and he loves playing soccer. He isn't getting accepted into any of his local sporting clubs because of his disability, but he loves to play soccer. I heard that you also like to. Would you be happy to go to the park with him on a Friday and just kick the soccer ball?" Dean was like, "Cool, why not? I can make a new friend. I like soccer. We can connect with something." So they started to go every Friday afternoon to play soccer together, and they developed a really nice friendship. But Dean was like, "Hang on a second, this is crazy. How come he's not getting accepted into any sporting clubs? Clearly, there's a problem of social isolation amongst young people with disability. We've got to do something about it." So that interaction with Dean and that young adult sparked it. They then got a group of friends around his family kitchen table and they planned the first ever Flying Fox camp where they took 25 young people with disability. They paired them each up with two Flying Fox trained volunteers from schools, and it was a massive success. It was 3 nights, 4 days of absolute fun. Everyone wanted more. So that was the beginning, and we've just kept going ever since then and have grown a lot since.
You know, Bianca, that is such a common story I hear from parents, from colleagues, from my friends that, my son is really excited to start this and no one will take him or her in. No one, wants to include them because, they're not keeping up or they're not following the rules or they're doing all the things, right? And then, or you hear on the flip side that maybe Bobby has started, a particular sport only to be kicked out because he's not doing the things that everyone else is doing. And I just think my heart is broken when I hear these stories because I think these kids deserve every right just as much as anybody else. So no, I love that. So can you just share a little bit about the programs that Flying Fox offer and just to let our listeners know a little bit more about it?
Absolutely. So Flying Fox runs overnight camps. We run both 2-night and 3-night programs. So we take up to 30 participants with disability away, and we just have a jam-packed, unbelievable schedule of just the funnest activities that every young kid wants to be doing. The beauty of Flying Fox is that we pair each participant up with 2 volunteers. Our volunteers are fun and young and creative and energized, and we have a very meaningful matchmaking process. So we always meet our participants before they come on the program. We learn who they are, learn about their personality, and what type of support they need to be their best selves and to thrive. We then interview all of our volunteers and we work out, cool, who do we think will match the personality of this participant, who they'll form a genuine connection and friendship with, and then we teach them how to support the participant. And then on the program, their role is to play both a carer and friend role to make sure the participant has the best time throughout the camp. We run lots of them. We run about 8 big camps a year and then almost 50 smaller camps a year as well. So almost every weekend we've got a program running. So we're always keeping busy. And then we also have amazing weekly social programs. So Flying Fox first started with the overnight camps, and our families loved them. But the feedback we got was that they're amazing, but our kids coming 2 or 3 or 4 times a year, it'd be also great for them to have a consistent social interaction. So that's when our Hangouts program was born. And every night of the week, we run a different social activity. So Monday nights, for example, we might go to Hijinks Hotel in Chadstone. And Tuesday nights, we've got a junior cooking class. And Wednesday night, tonight, we've got a movie at the new Flying Fox Hub office. On Saturday morning, we've got a fitness class and coffee for a group of participants. So a lot of diverse activities so that there's always something for everyone. And we're running those literally every single day and night of the week. And then we also run amazing education programs for students in mainstream schools. We educate them about the importance of disability and inclusion education, and then we upskill them to be volunteers on our overnight programs.
Oh my Lord. That sounds amazing. Oh my God. I'm so grateful that you guys exist. I'm so grateful that this is even an option for children and for adults who, we know this. We know that some of these kids are growing up feeling less than, feeling like they are not good enough, feeling like they are left out, that they're not part of whatever's going on. And that is absolutely bull dust. Like, I will not stand for it. I think that these kids need every opportunity that they can have. And I know that I'm deeply passionate and I will get off my high horse, but it makes me sad to think that my boy wouldn't have this opportunity if Flying Fox didn't exist, right? And that makes me emotional. I don't want to cry because I won't cry, but I want it to be something where people know that services like this exist. And this is why I created the podcast, to be able to share this information, because it's not okay for neurodivergent children and adults to think, I don't have anywhere to go. I don't want, where am I going to go where I'm going to feel accepted and celebrated? And this is the perfect example. And I'm so grateful. Okay, I will get off my high horse, trust me. So in terms of the community and the fact that you even said that there's 2 to 1, I love your matchmaking process as well, which is hugely important, because not every child is going to be the same. Not every child is going to have the same needs. And it is very much like, well, this person would be very suited to this person. So I love that. But in terms of the community that you support, talk us through that.
So the beauty of Flying Fox is that we take anyone and everyone who feels like they'll benefit from coming on a Flying Fox program. So we have a very diverse group of participants whenever we run camps, which we love because that is what disability is. It's diverse, and it's important for volunteers to be seeing that and to be learning about supporting a variety of people. So at Flying Fox, we have people who need care in every aspect of their life, with feeding, toileting, communication, mobility, you name it. We put the right supports in to make sure that they'll have a safe and amazing experience. We also have people who, if you saw them on the street, you might not know that they have a disability, but they really struggle with engaging in social experiences or appropriate conversations. So anyone who comes our way that feels like they'll thrive, we make sure that we've got the right supports for them, and that there's other people on the program who we think they'll actually be able to form a genuine connection with. Because the beauty of Flying Fox is that it's so much more than a program. It's so much more than coming to one cooking class or one camp. Once you come, you love it, you fall in love, and you form a connection with so many other participants, volunteers, team members, that it's actually a social network. It's not just a program, that you find your people and you have those people forever.
Absolutely. So for listeners who aren't sure, what are the youngest ages up to the oldest ages?
So the youngest age is 8, and we keep extending the older age because Flying Fox has been around for 10 years. All of our original participants, we still want to come on camp. Don't forget about us, even though we're in our 30s and 40s. So what we've done is we've now added in a program that is targeted to an older age group, and we run specific programs where the activities are more age appropriate. So we might go to a winery or go to a bar, so that we're keeping the time and making sure that, a 30-year-old wants to do something different to an 8-year-old, we would never put them on the same program. So we don't have a strict cutoff age, but our older participants are in their high 30s.
Oh, that's beautiful. In terms of the camps, can you give some ideas as to where you go for locations, just so that they have a better idea of where you're
Yeah,
going?
definitely. So we rent out big campsites that are, of course, accessible. They're usually on the Mornington Peninsula. Sometimes they're in the Dalesford area or Glenmore, but they're usually on the peninsula. We always give families heaps and heaps of notice before coming on a program, so they'll know the location, where we're meeting beforehand, the schedule, the packing list, the menu. Nothing will be a surprise. But they're usually in the Mornington Peninsula area.
And does that cover I'm assuming the camps cover food and everything else. So if you've got a child who's sensitive to food and
yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's say you have a child with high support needs. How does that look in terms of supporting that child, whether they're on camps or in hangouts? Like, what does that look like?
So we always follow the lead on the family, what they feel like they want to do from their end to make sure that they feel comfortable from their side. And then from our end, it's also making sure that we have all the right information and resources there, as well as all the right information for the volunteers to feel comfortable to support the participant. So what we do is, like I said, we always meet each participant and their parent or guardian before a program. We never have someone come without knowing them. We're very individualized. So they come to our office, or we go to a cafe and we get to know them for an hour or so, just learn about what they like, don't like. They can ask any questions. We just break the ice. From there, we'll then make an individual care plan. So, for example, if someone has a really complex medical support requirement, or they have a specific way to do transfers for mobility, we'll organise a home visit. That is where our volunteers will come at a time that suits the family to learn in a comfortable space for them how to do something. It might be with a parent or a carer. And we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, as many as we need for both the participant family and the volunteers to feel comfortable with that. We'll always have a team member go along with, and that team member is on the camp as well. So there's always someone that you can escalate something to if you're unsure how to do it, because they've also had the training. We don't have a one plan for everyone, because all of our participants are so unique and diverse. We have so many different ways that we support each person, and we make that unique plan with that individual participant and family when we meet them.
And so do you, like, when you're going through the plan, and forgive me if I'm getting this wrong, so please correct me, but in terms of, are you sitting down and being like, okay, well, Bobby really wants to work on, this particular activity because he wants to build confidence, or he wants to learn how to play soccer because, maybe back because he goes to a mainstream school and he really wants to be friends with this particular friend, and this boy plays soccer as well, so he wants to learn how to play soccer so that he can engage. Is that something like working towards goals? Is that something that you would do?
Yeah, definitely. So we always ask families what their child's NDIS goals are, and we work out how we can intertwine them into our program so that there's long-lasting benefits as well. So that's one part of it, and the other part of it is also the actual just support requirements of the individual. What do they need a social story? Do they need specific sensory toys? Do they need physical equipment? All of those things as well.
And so this must be hugely popular for parents, because as much as we love our children, and we do, we would cut off our arms and legs for these children because we love them so much, but it must act as a form of respite for parents who can safely say, right, you are going to be safe, you're going to be taken care of, you're going to have a great time, and then mum and dad can have some time to just take stock.
It's life-changing for the participants, but of course also for their families. And the best part is we're very communicative with our families. So every day we send them lots of photos and videos and updates of their child's day. And often the families' minds are completely blown by what the activities that they've done. We'll say, Bianca went on the giant swing today. And I'll be like, what? But she has a massive phobia of heights. I could never thought she would have done that. And it's like, camp just brings out this amazing side of people where everyone just gives things a go. And its parents are often, baffled by the experiences that their kids are opting into on our camps.
That is beautiful. I love hearing that. Okay, so Flying Fox is definitely a unique name. Obviously, when people think about it, they're thinking about the actual flying fox that kids get on. Why did the CEOs decide to call it that?
So the name Flying Fox is also a really nice story. The organization used to be called a different name, and then at some point it transitioned to Flying Fox because of this story, which speaks to really why Flying Fox exists and the journey that a participant comes on when they join our programs. It was about a specific participant who's been coming since almost the very beginning. And on his first camp, he was super anxious, quite isolated, didn't want to engage so much in the group, was often, in the corner in the dining hall, hanging out with his buddies, but didn't want to be with everyone else so much. But that was how he wanted to engage, and we supported him to do so. The next camp he came on, he was a little bit more willing to engage in the activities, and he wanted to come and watch everyone go on the Flying Fox, but he was too nervous to go on the actual ride itself. But he watched everyone, and we're like, that's awesome. He's making progress, that he's clearly feeling comfortable to engage with a bigger group of people. What a win. Like, we should celebrate that. The next camp he went on, he started to put on some of the harness and the helmet. And we're like, this is amazing. He wasn't yet ready to go on the Flying Fox, but he was getting there. And the next camp he went on the Flying Fox and had the best time. And to us, that is just what Flying Fox is about. We love celebrating the little wins. It's so important for us to celebrate those small moments, because in that person's life, that is genuinely life-changing. And even though it took 4 camps, the fact that he conquered his fears, went on the Flying Fox, he now goes on the Flying Fox every single year. It's just what we're all about. So because of that story, we named the organization Flying Fox.
I love that. And I also love the fact that, like, let's be real, especially, and I talk about the autistic community, it takes them time, regardless of, I don't care how old the child or the adult is, it's going to take them steps to get to where they need to go. So this idea that you're just going to rock up to a camp and just get onto the Flying Fox and that's going to be it is just ludicrous. There may be children that do that, and I fully support them. But for the kids who need that extra space and time, I love that. And I love that you celebrated those wins and made that progress, right? And it's just, again, like that saying, progress, not perfection, right? We're not looking for it to be perfect. We're looking for those small, tiny wins, which we know how hard we fight for as parents to see our children really shine. Even if it was just a small step, it's a small step in absolutely the right direction. And that's where we want them to go.
Absolutely. We always have a camp schedule, but the way that people engage and participate in it, it's so creative. I love seeing how every participant has their own way around engaging in the activity. And, often someone might really just not want to do an activity. So we have 4 other options for them to do. That there's no rules. It's very flexible.
And do you have a lot of kids that are non-speaking or minimally speaking?
Yes. I'd say probably the majority of our participants are nonverbal, and they communicate in their own means. And what we just do is we work with the volunteers in the lead up with the families to teach them their communication style.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that. So if you could tell us what makes Flying Fox unique? What makes it a standout? I know you've already given us so much information already, but why do you think it's so unique?
For so many reasons. Like, I've been involved for 7 or 8 years and they can't get rid of me. I think that the reason why I love it so much is the social network that it creates. It's, like I said before, you're not just coming on a camp. It's so much bigger than that. It's a place where people can genuinely find their people. They can genuinely feel a sense of connection and belonging where they haven't been able to find that before, where they get celebrated for what they can do, not called out for what they can't do. And which is really unique, for the participant and for the family. And the way it brings together people with and without disability, it breaks down that barrier. We have genuine friendships formed between our participants and volunteers. They want to see each other on multiple programs. They have reunions and hangouts, the weekly social programs, because it's so much more than just a one-time event. I think that's one really special thing about Flying Fox, the community that it creates. And I think the other thing that's really special is that 2-to-1 ratio. It's a really unique part of what we do that a lot of other places don't facilitate. That even, if someone doesn't need 2-to-1 for supervision or for support requirements, it's just more fun to have more people cheering you on and hanging around you. It means that the participant is going to be better supported. The volunteer is going to be better supported because they've got someone to work alongside. So I think that 2-to-1 is also really significant.
Absolutely.
Flying Fox program.
Yeah, definitely. Because it is, you want to make it the most fun, like it was you were just saying, right? And sometimes it can be a lot to look after a child who is, or an adult who is, has high support needs,
Yeah.
and especially if someone has another idea. I always love brainstorming with other people because I think that that's where you get the most ideas. So if you've got two people supporting one child,
100%.
that's an amazing ratio. Um, where can people find you on socials and on your website?
So if you just search up flying fox, it'll come up. Sometimes it comes up though with an actual flying fox. So you might want to write flying fox disability or flying fox camp, and it'll come up. And on our Instagram, it's also flying fox AU.
And what's the website?
The website is, oh, let me get it up, just www.flyingfox.org.au.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Is there anything that you wanted to add before we jump into rapid fire questions?
Yeah, I think one extra thing to add is that often when a parent is thinking about signing their child up to a program, sometimes the hesitation is about medical support requirements, which can be really anxiety for a parent, to put trust in a new organization to tackle that and to learn about that. On our overnight 3-night camps, what we do is we always have 2 registered health professionals, so either doctors, paramedics, nurses, who oversee a medic team who we train up, and they're responsible for all medication administration, overseeing personal care support requirements, any epilepsy, diabetes, asthma, etc. And I think it's often reassuring for families to know that we have experts, health professionals overseeing that to make sure that they know their child will be safely supported from every perspective, but also, of course, the medical perspective.
That's incredible. That is so amazing because I could only imagine having a child with complex needs, like medical complex needs. Yes, it would be very nerve-wracking to think that, like, are they going to get the right care? But I love that you've even got that as an option, that you have
Yeah.
these doctors and paramedics. Like, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, well done. Okay. Now, the idea of the rapid fire questions is one-worded answers, just short and sharp. I just wanted to get a bit of understanding about you a little bit more.
Cool.
So, what is your favorite part of the job?
Meeting our new families.
Yes, I love that. One word to describe Flying Fox.
Fun. It's what we're all about.
Yes. What is your biggest motivation?
In Flying Fox, inclusion.
Oh, yes. What's one thing that you can't live without?
Ooh. I still have a blankie that I love.
Yes, yes, we've all got one of those, I'm sure. And what's the best way that you like to build connection?
Usually over a coffee, just having a nice conversation with someone.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, Bianca, thank you so much for your time. It
No,
has been
thank you for
such a
having
pleasure
me.
to talk to you. And we'll pop all the details in the show notes in terms of the website and the social media outlets. So if anyone wants to book in, they can do so. And thank you again for your time.
Amazing, thank you. Nice to
Talk to
chat
you
to
later.
you.
Bye.